Good afternoon. How's it going, everyone? I hope you're doing well. If you're new here, hi, I'm Miles. I do music stuff. And today's video is going to be a little different because while still music related, we're going to be talking mostly about like things that have come up in the music world. Music news, if you will. It's the day after Thanksgiving, and like just overall emotionally, I've been personally in a weird place. So I'm kind of forcing myself to do this also just so that like I'm getting back into making videos more frequently, but also just to like kind of have a video that I'm talking to you guys directly about these things that have been taking place and, you know, just converse. You know, I make the video, you talk back to me in the comments. We'll try it out. Let's see what happens. And the first item that we need to talk about is Bob Bryar, former drummer of My Chemical Romance, being found dead recently. I don't know specifically the date that it took place. I just read the news article about it today. It's still pretty fresh. They don't know any causes or anything that led up to his final demise, but it's a bummer because with this news, I also learned that he wasn't going to be playing drums for this upcoming tour that they just started selling tickets for. And I tried to get tickets. The nosebleed seats at MetLife Stadium, I think they were like $1,000 each. So I'm not going. But I imagine it was probably a hard hit for him to hear the announcement of this tour and never get that call to go and be the drummer for My Chemical Romance. But again, this story is very fresh, so details are still starting to roll in gradually. What I can say at this point is that I wish his family the best at this time. My thoughts are with them. And at the very least, he leaves behind a legacy attached to the album The Black Parade and everything that went along with that album, as well as the writing that he did on the following album, Danger Days. Yeah. Incredible career, incredible life. Rest in power, sir. And so to move on to something a bit more uplifting or just different, because it's kind of ridiculous, but Jimmy Kimmel, late night talk show host, has the band Knocked Loose as a musical guest on his show recently. And with Knocked Loose, they also brought out the artist Poppy to perform with them in their performance on the show. And if you're a fan of heavy music, this is one of those instances where you're feeling proud because you're seeing bands that otherwise would just be kept to the realm of their music videos on YouTube and stuff like that, making it to a branch of the mainstream outlets that are out there. To his credit, Jimmy Kimmel's been really good about this stuff over the years. He's had bands like Slipknot, Mastodon, all play live on his show, and that's awesome. I don't know if he likes heavy music personally. I think he's just got some like people that are working beneath him that are pushing it through like, hey, they got a really good album. You should get them on the show. It'll be really good. And if that's the case, I'm all for it. Either way, you got a bunch of people that got to see a band like Knocked Loose and Poppy in front of a much larger audience than they would otherwise have. And their performance was great. They had pyrotechnics. It was ridiculous. The guitars were brutal. It was super awesome. But what was really the showcase from this performance was the reaction from fans of the show that responded after the performance. And all you gotta do is just go to Jimmy Kimmel's YouTube channel and look at the comments beneath the video itself, and you'll suddenly be teleported back to the year 1996, where everyone's like, I don't understand what they're even saying. Is this music? And it's gotten so bad that there is a collective of people that are demanding that Jimmy Kimmel issue a formal apology to his viewers. One person was saying that they were watching the show with their adolescent kid, and that the kid, like, at the fourth, like, what did they call it? A junt on the guitar. We'll say gent, because we're charitable here. But the fourth junt on the guitar brought their child to tears. Which, as a guitar player, that reads to me like this kid just had an awakening. They found their calling. But to everyone else, I think they see it as like, you just sold my son's soul to the devil. Thanks a lot, Jimmy Kimmel. And my takeaway from all this is that I hope that this becomes a bit during Jimmy Kimmel's opening monologue for his next show. I think that he should not cater to these people in any capacity. Like, if they stop watching the show, okay. Oh no, what am I going to do without you 30 people? He'll be okay. Because let's be honest, what they're demanding is that you make them comfortable with something that the majority of the public is comfortable with already. And that's ridiculous. That's silly. If you can't conform to the progression of society, you're the one with the problem. If you don't like heavy music, that's okay, but you shouldn't be in a position where you're telling people you shouldn't be showing this on TV. And furthermore, Jimmy Kimmel's show goes on at night. So, like, why is your adolescent kid watching it? I imagine there were jokes leading up to the musical performance that probably weren't kid-friendly. So, I don't know, were those okay? But, like, the sound of distorted guitars and scream vocals, that was the problem? Anyway, my personal takeaway is, I'm sorry you feel that way. I hope you feel better soon. And big congrats to Knock Loose and Poppy. That was dope. I thought it was cool. I appreciate that Poppy just completely disregarded the more than likely message she was given before the show to not curse into the microphone. It reminds me of when System of a Down was on Saturday Night Live. And I believe that was their last performance on Saturday Night Live. But yeah, hell yeah, I'm all for it. Keep it going. And then our last two items on this list are going into the realm of hip-hop. Starting with the surprise album from Kendrick Lamar, G&X. And this was literally a surprise. Like, I was at my job. I just so happened to be going on my lunch break when I suddenly got a bunch of notifications from YouTube. Because I'm subscribed to his YouTube channel, and I also hit the bell for notifications, which, by the way, if you haven't already and you like what I'm doing here, you should hit that like and that subscribe button, because it's free and it helps my channel. Anyway, so I'm heading out to my car already just to go and get lunch, but then I look at my phone and I suddenly get a slew of notifications of what looked to be song titles from Kendrick Lamar's YouTube channel. And I'm like, what is this? So I run to the car. I sit down and I'm like, oh my God, is this an album? Is this an album that he just dropped? Who knew about this? And every comment I saw was just like, I wasn't ready. I've been bumping the album since it came out. And so far, my takeaway from it has been that I think it serves the purpose of Kendrick having new material in his run-up for the Super Bowl. So he's got a couple songs on there, like Squabble Up, that I imagine he's going to figure out a way to make it Super Bowl appropriate to perform. There's also the song Luther. That arguably is my favorite right now. It's like, it's really, really good. It's really good. But like, it's that one, it's Luther in a very close neck and neck race with the first track, Whacked Out Murals. Because that one, it's just Kendrick, like, he's taken the route of, for the old heads out there that might remember, basically the tracks that Eminem would put out, where he's got, like, The Way I Am, I Just Don't Give a F***, I Still Don't Give a F***, Marshall Mathers, where it's kind of like talking about all the stuff that's been in the social zeitgeist at the moment, and how he feels about it, his response to it, and showcasing it in a musical format. And, you know, just giving us a track that we can listen to and go, "Wow!" Because it's wild. It's wild. The line about Lil Wayne, the line about Snoop Dogg, like, it's funny. It's not super aggressive. I get that he's coming from a place where it's like, damn, this is not the response I was looking for to the news of me performing at the Super Bowl. But yeah, it's all very well done. There's like 2 tracks on the album that I'm just kind of like, yeah, okay, sure. But overall, everything is in this very like seemingly shorter format. And I think it really is serving a purpose of being sort of like an audio version of like a newspaper, something like that, where it's just like, here's what's going on, here's the current events, check it out, and see you soon. And it's great. I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying it a lot. Which leads us into our final note of topics to discuss in this video. Everyone's best friend, Mr. Drake. Mr. Aubrey Graham, who committed the cardinal sin of following his loss in a rap beef with a lawsuit. But not just one lawsuit, 2. And so my issue with these lawsuits is that at face value, they're very stupid. Like, if he's unfortunate enough to have a judge overlook what the claims are, and that judge was tuned in to what was going on with the back and forth beef with him and Kendrick, the judge is going to say, bro, what are you even talking about? What are you talking about? And here's why. One of the lawsuits is a defamation lawsuit, because if you go and listen to the track Not Like Us, huge club banger, there's a line in there where, following Certified Lover Boy, he implies that Drake is a certified PDF file downloader. And fine, you could be upset about that line being thrown out there. But here's the thing. You accuse Kendrick of being a wife beater. You accused him of so many other things. You said that his best friend is the fucking father of his kid. What are we talking about? It's the most cheap way of responding to acknowledging that you lost the battle. Like, you lose a game that you're playing amongst your friends as a kid, and you say, well, I'm telling my mom that you guys aren't playing fair. And you literally take your ball and go home. Like, that ain't it. Come on. Come on. And then the other lawsuit is, again, Spotify and Universal Music Group. I believe both Drake and Kendrick are on Universal Music Group, UMG. But basically, he's accusing them and Spotify of boosting the song Not Like Us to get it to number 1 as far as its chart placement, implying that the song otherwise wouldn't be as big as it was without their intervention. And the issue I have with that, number 1, it's not true, but the issue I really have with it is that, number 1, you as an artist, as an individual, have been on the receiving end of getting boosting from Spotify and UMG. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a period of time where you go on Spotify and you look on their playlists, specifically Hip Hop Caviar, and a certain person's face would be the backdrop of that playlist. And all their songs would just be at the top of the list. Yeah, I mean, that was just all organic, right? There was no underlying workarounds going on there, right? But also, given the nature of this hip-hop beef, it was this thing that, like, Drake would put out a song and people were like, oh my god, what? Oh man, what's Kendrick gonna say to this? Oh my god. And then there was a period of time where nothing went down, but then Kendrick would just put out a song. And it was like, oh, oh, what's Drake gonna say to this? Because, like, it wasn't just Not Like Us. It was also Euphoria. It was also Meet the Grams. Like, there's 616 in LA, but, like, that kind of went under the radar for a lot of people because it was not an official release on the streamies. But you had all those tracks leading up to the point where Not Like Us was released. And it's not just Kendrick tracks. There was also the Drake tracks. And the thing is that, like, we live in a time where everyone is super engaged, invested in what's going on in pop culture. Why? Because they probably have a social media account that they can talk about it on, like I'm doing right now. So because of that, you have a lot of people talking about this stuff. But the other aspect of it is that Kendrick writes music that has layers to it. It has layers to it, and people are interested in picking apart that onion and seeing what those layers are to better understand what it is that he's saying as a response to Drake. And so likely, a lot of the plays on Not Like Us are just people hearing it over and over and over and over again, reading the lyrics, and trying to really take it all in so that they better understand and then can make a breakdown video of the song on their YouTube channel. And then, of course, obviously, another aspect of it is that, like, it's just a fun song. Like, the beat is fun. You can listen to it at a party, and it's one of the few instances where you're listening to a party song and you get to call someone a PDF file downloader. Like, what's not to like? But with that said, if the song wasn't good, then when Kendrick had his pop-out concert, he probably wouldn't have done that song, 6 times? He did the song 6 times. That's crazy. I watched it at home and I was like, yeah, that's a little much. But if I was there, I'd be singing the lyrics louder each time. And that's what everyone else did. So at the end of all this, I feel like that the takeaway is that Drake just looks silly. He looks silly and he looks scorned. It's dumb. Like, what is even the outcome? And if you really have a problem with the aspects of the lawsuits that are laid out, why aren't you suing Kendrick directly? Why aren't you directing your lawsuit at Mr. Duckworth directly? So it feels like a publicity stunt. It feels empty and just silly. And it's another instance of me feeling like I can't take Drake seriously. Because he's just like this character. And this is a feeling that has stuck with me since I first saw Drake in 2009. When he performed at my college, SUNY Purchase. And was basically booed off stage. Like, no one was interested in seeing him at the time. Yeah, the man's silly. Stop being silly, Drake. I encourage you. Please. And with all that said, that's all I got for you guys for this evening. I liked this. I felt good doing this. I didn't even do much of a script for it. I just kind of like listed the topics that I wanted to talk about. But this felt nice. If this is something that you would be interested in seeing more of, let me know. And if you found this video to be interesting and informative, by all means, if you haven't already, hit that like and that subscribe button. And why not hit that bell as well? Then you'll know when I post videos, because everyone needs to know. Because there's a lot of people out there that are putting out musical analysis, and I want to be seen amongst them. And if you like what I'm doing here and want to do more than just liking and subscribing, you can join the community of patrons over on Patreon. I'll leave a link down in the description where you can check out the perks that are attached to your support there. And you'll be part of the group of people that help make these videos possible. But yeah, that's all I got. I'm tired. I'm gonna go watch TV and then probably go to bed. We'll see what happens. I hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. I will see you soon. Take care. Drink some water. Keep playing. Peace.